In the war between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, one of the unlikely casualties was Blake Lively's friendship with Taylor Swift. A longtime friend, not only that, but also the godmother of her children. It seems that over this time period, Taylor Swift has distanced herself from Blake and doesn't want to be involved in the controversy, certainly doesn't want to be subpoenaed and called to testify in the trial in 2026. That would be terrible for her.
That's not
and her
dragon
reputation.
behavior. Dragons should go to court for you.
Yeah, well, this dragon is getting dragged into Blake Lively's mess.
Dragging me into court.
And in case you're unaware, that's referencing the infamous text message that was either written by Blake herself or ghost written by Ryan Reynolds, referring to Taylor Swift as one of Blake's dragons, thereby weaponizing her fame as a fear tactic against Justin Baldoni to coerce him into basically letting Blake take complete control over his movie. So Taylor Swift found out about that in the discovery process of this lawsuit, not from her friend, and likely felt betrayed. But there's more to it than that. According to a blind item that was posted to Instagram last month, Taylor Swift has another reason to distance herself from Blake Lively, and it's because of something revealed by Brittany Mahomes. So here is the post from Katie Paulson, who goes by Without a Crystal Ball. It says it has an insider scoop on a source from a girls' trip with none other than Taylor Swift frenemy Brittany Mahomes.
Okay.
So they know each other, obviously, because their respective spouse, or I guess in Taylor
Significant
Swift's
other.
situation, significant other, are on the Kansas City Chiefs. So they've had to spend time with each other, but I don't think they get along very well. Brittany Mahomes allegedly spilled tea on why Blake Lively and Taylor Swift are no longer friends.
Damn, I thought you were about to say
to the group of women that she was with.
Thought you were about to say that she spilled actual tea on her. That would have been really
It's
interesting.
not actual tea. So according to this unnamed source, Brittany Mahomes was telling all of these women that she heard a rumor of Lively trying to initiate an affair with Justin Baldoni while they were working on the set of It Ends With Us. This suggests that Justin Baldoni rebuffed her, rejected her advances, given that he is a happily married man and doesn't want to get in any trouble and doesn't want to, have misconduct allegations, which he got anyway.
Yep.
So most likely this suggests that Taylor Swift told Brittany Mahomes this information, that she found it out from Blake Lively herself. But this is unconfirmed. We don't know whether to believe it. And it's something that people have floated as a theory for months now also, that this is basically a revenge plot from Blake Lively against Baldoni because she was humiliated when he rejected her. And there's also a theory that Ryan Reynolds is behind all of this when he found out that Blake Lively was getting into an entanglement on set with her co-star. He flipped out and basically went into supervillain mode and wanted to destroy Justin Baldoni as a result. Instead of just fixing the problems in his marriage...
I feel like he could just... I honestly feel like if he wanted to do that, he could just call up anybody that ever planned to work with him and just be like, don't do it.
But here's the thing. It makes sense why Ryan Reynolds would take it so personally. Because he allegedly got with Blake Lively while he was still with Scarlett Johansson because they fell in love on the set of a movie. This is something that Ryan Reynolds is personally guilty of in his past. So it makes sense that he would be especially on guard with the same thing happening in regard to his wife's professional career. Like, it's not as simple as we can just kiss and pretend to have sex on camera and then go home at the end of the day like nothing happened. Most of the time, you're not actually able to sever the ties as easily. It probably takes a very unique type of person to perform intimate scenes on a Hollywood set and completely divorce their emotions from it?
I don't know.
99% of people, I guarantee you, would be completely incapable of doing that, because that's actually normal. It's normal to feel that way, that you shouldn't be doing intimate things with people other than your spouse.
I imagine that for the ones that are truly successful in the industry, that there's a certain level of distance that they take from the role when they're done. Like, have you seen the articles recently that, like, there's been like this rash of articles that are now making fun of method acting? They're like, shut up and leave it at home.
Yeah.
You know, that's the
It's narcissistic.
That's the discipline, right? And I don't know. On one hand, I agree with you, because most of the time, I think that the actors that are successful because they can uniquely tap into emotions that they might not be feeling to portray it on camera, and then somewhere in the middle there, it gets lost between feeling it, disengaging from it, and then going on about your day. Mm-hmm. Like, it's even funnier when you find out when actors that have really great chemistry on camera don't like each other, which I'm always personally a fan of. Like, I like it when actors don't like each other but actually do well together, because it means they're both consummate professionals.
Yeah, I don't like the idea that in Hollywood they just accept this as the norm, that you're like expected to do all of these.
I mean, it's kind of a requirement of the job, right? It's not like they make you try out for those roles.
It's not a requirement, though, because you can choose not to do sex scenes.
That's what I'm saying. It's a requirement of the job should you go for those roles.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't have to go for those roles.
Yeah, I just feel like if I fell in love with my own spouse on a Hollywood set, who was married at the time, I mean, I wouldn't really risk it.
Just the being married part makes it unbelievably doomed from the get-go.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting. Some people are hearing this rumor and they're instead turning a critical eye to Justin Baldoni's marriage and saying that actually he's the one with marriage problems, turning the tables on him. Fans and critics alike have pointed out aspects of Justin Baldoni's marriage that seem rather strange. For instance, and this is no secret, Justin Baldoni is a woo-woo spiritual weirdo. He has very niche religious beliefs, and he is the type of person who goes out of his way to kind of spill his feelings everywhere on social media, so this completely tracks. When Justin Baldoni proposed to his wife, Emily, he went all out. He made a short film that she got to watch before he got down on one knee. Mm-hmm. That was a 27-minute long proposal video. He says it was my first movie, actually. He made the short film with the help of some friends, saying, quote, "It was a big joke." The proposal video ended up becoming the project that kicked off Justin's career. After saying yes to his proposal, Emily gave Justin permission to share it with the world on YouTube, and it has now amassed over 14 million views.
She's an actor too, so that tracks to me.
Yeah, but some have pointed out that this video seems more geared toward giving Justin Baldoni an ego boost rather than proclaiming his love for his wife.
You want to know a weirder story than both of these? Do you know who Kumail Nanjiani is?
Yeah.
Kumail Nanjiani wrote, directed, and starred in a movie about him falling in love with his wife, and his wife was a producer and worked on the movie with him, and another woman plays his wife and he plays himself.
Ick. That's just such a red flag.
I can't hate him because he made the X-Files files, which is one of my favorite podcasts of all time.
Like, hey babe, what if I made a movie about falling in love with you, but
then did it with somebody else?
Cast someone as you who's like way hotter than you. What about that?
I don't even remember who.
And she was like, "I'm sold." Like, what are you talking about?
And the best part is, if I remember correctly, she's like a therapist.
Oh yeah, they're all
like.
They're weirdos. Not to be trusted when it comes to, modeling your relationship after theirs. People have also pointed out that part of his vows to his wife were apologies for his faults, for his shortcomings, for his insecurities, his ego, everything he's ever done or said to hurt her. He apologized to his wife during his vows for anything he ever brought to his relationship that hasn't been pure. which again also just seems to be making it about yourself and self-pathologizing.
Yep.
He also often makes jokes about having marital issues. One of the things that he is credited for saving his marriage is, I'm not kidding you, a hyperbaric oxygen therapy tank. He says that
what's his religion again?
there are no marriage issues an hour of pure O2 can't fix.
What is his religion again?
Baha'i.
When we were back in Michigan, we drove by a Baha'i church.
Oh.
Yeah, we did.
I didn't know there were that many of them. Where was it?
I was somewhere, it was somewhere outside of Detroit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There aren't that many of them. So it's surprising that basically his entire production company is full of
the only people
who follow this religion that no one's ever heard of.
Yep.
Or at the very least, they're, amenable to it, and they work under the same worldview or these values that they hold.
I've never been in a hyperbaric chamber. I would be interested to know how that saves your marriage. Like, maybe what it is she says something annoying, and he's like, ugh, honey, and then he just leaves the room. And he goes into the hyperbaric chamber, but what he doesn't realize is all he has to do is just go to another room. You don't have to go to a hyperbaric chamber if your wife's being annoying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, marriage counseling is an off-label use for oxygen therapy. But yeah, he's very open about, how his marriage has had its ups and downs. He's posted things saying, marriage is no fairy tale. It's not about a happy ending or the illusion of perfection. Marriage is about work. We're all flawed and just trying to figure it out. Some more openly messy than others. We all have stuff. We all have shit. Let's stop pretending we don't and embrace it. That's all true and fine and good, but doesn't mean you need to share it with everybody on your social media platform.
Yeah.
So beyond the pale. And now, in order to combat divorce rumors, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have seemed to basically flood the zone
with
positive positive stories about them.
And they've been in public more.
They've been making public outings together nonstop. Some PR experts say the use of excessive PDA between Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds as a distraction from the negative press could backfire on them. And Blake Lively is also planting a lot of stories about her streetwear, her fashion. There were 3 articles in 1 hour recently just on her outfits that she was wearing out and about in New York, instead of stories about the most obvious controversy that is plaguing her career at the moment. So it definitely seems like her PR is working overtime to plant positive stories to combat the negative, and it's not drowning out the noise.
I think either way, Baldoni is better off because they're just a less public couple, and she's of less. They're both of less note, fame-wise.
It's so funny. You can release a short film about your relationship, and you're still considered a less public couple in Hollywood.
Rather than Blake and
all things considered.
Ryan, like I said, she's. I knew who his wife was before I knew who he was. I had seen her in tons of stuff as a guest actor on tons of shows.
Yeah.
So that wasn't shocking to me. But I think I think they're both kind of a little screwed. But if I had to guess, I'd say that Ryan and Blake have less of a chance of breaking up because there's too much money invested in all of it.
Well, look, she is a civil rights titan.
That's exactly right.
And a fashion icon.
Champagne and all. Because what you need to do to be a civil rights icon in Hollywood is wear expensive clothes and go to women's summits where you will then,
and donate to the NAACP.
In between sips of champagne, talk about how you are saving the world.
Yep.
That's how things change. Trust me, I know.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.